welcome to the award-winning Ed Brown Show. Hey, what's happening? Graduation is here. And I tell you, another important thing is here too. It's Father's Day. You know, I had a Mother's Day show, but the fathers generally get left out. But I got two outstanding young men. They just happen to be related to me. A little grandsons. Oh, had three of them. Had one before, got two today. One is Edwin H. Brown, the third. Yeah, the third. That's right. You have three of us. And then you have, what do we have? You have Ellis Brown. Now, he's an outstanding graduate coming down from Wise High School. Outstanding track man, mathematics, and all of this. And his brother, Edwin O. This is a track family. Their father, I had to give him and his mother credit. They did an outstanding job. I used to hate going, you know, going out sleeping in the tent. I mean, I was supposed to be there for the track meet, but, you know, the track meet was all day. So anyway, this is a special, special occasion as far as the graduation, as far as Father's Day is concerned. And I just want to introduce you to the Edwin H. Brown III. Boy, the world got three of us, I tell you. Edwin, tell us a little bit about yourself and the fact that you were an outstanding track man and now you're in the community college, Prince George's County Community College. You're majoring in, what is that? Physical education. And what are you, I mean, what are you going to do with physical education? You're going to have your exercise business. That's a good thing to be in because everybody goes to exercise. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I attend Prince George's Community College, like you already said, and my major is physical education, but I really want to do physical therapy. But they don't
physical,
have it.
I have Nate. Yeah. I have Nate. You give massages and all that for arthritis and rheumatism and all like that, huh?
Yeah, I'm definitely going to you know, learn about that when
That's a good business. Everybody has problems sooner or later. The older you get, the more you need physical therapy.
Exactly. So that's why that definitely is my field I want to get into. Mm. And plus I just like, you know, just working out and, you know, just keeping, you know, my body in like a decent shape. So, you know, that motivated me too to, you know, choose that as my major.
That's your motivation is physical fitness.
Right, yeah.
Physical fitness, yeah. That really, you're in competition with your brothers, Ellis and Evan, you know. I see Evan is bulking up. He was on the show before. He's getting a little muscle there. You know, I got a couple shots of him, man, and he's really...
And he's building up, right?
Yeah, he's building up, you know. I think one of the things that really motivated him was the fact that he wanted to play football, you know.
Right.
And he was just like Isaiah, you know, everybody thought that he's a small guy, what he's going to play. So he changed different positions, you know, where those 300-pounders wouldn't be, he didn't have to meet them
that's how
every week, you know. Right. Okay, tell us a little bit about the physical therapy and the types of things that you want to really get involved as far as your career is concerned.
When I started on physical therapy, I want to have my own business at some point. Mm-hmm. So I don't have to, you know, work for other people, so it'll be more convenient. Like I want to have my own practice.
Yeah, that's the way, that's the future. That is the future. When I was coming along, everybody was saying, hey, look, you get a degree, and you have to get the degree, you know what I mean, and you work 40 years, get a government job, you know, work 40 years and retire. Hey, that's antique. Now the young people have to think in terms of the business world. And your dad, he's got you, and mom's got you involved in being mentored. Tell us a little bit about your experience at the veterinarian. I heard it one time you said you want to be a veterinarian. Then your
Yeah,
dad
I was thinking about that.
your daddy said, you do? Okay, fine. I have a veterinarian. I'll let you work with for a couple of weekends. And then I heard the news, next time I talked to him, I heard that you said, well, I don't think I want to be a veterinarian, you know, after you got that experience. Right. What a veterinarian does and the types of things that you will encounter.
It's just that the thing about being a veterinarian was that the smell. Like you was around like just so many animals every day. And then it's like the animals, like, they would stink. And then I seen that some people had to like bathe them and, you know, just walk them. Like, basically I just walk the dogs.
Well, you walk the dog. Walking the dogs was his job, right?
You know.
Well, you said that was a job, right? Walking the dogs. That was something that's something, you know, all of us are built for certain things. So there's certain things that, you know, no matter how much they pay, how easy it is to get involved with, you just don't want to be bothered with it, right?
Yeah, it's like your heart's just not into it. Yeah, it's like with some things, it's like your heart's just not into it. So
yeah.
The paycheck really isn't going to.
Well,
you know,
that's what they say. You look at the paycheck. Is the money worth it?
Yeah, you gotta ask yourself that question.
Yeah, right. Okay, let's get over to Ellis here. Ellis is the middle brown. I mean, he's in between. He's between Edwin and Evan. Yeah. And so he has to, you know, watch himself because he has an older brother and a baby brother. So how do you handle that, Ellis? You know?
It's fun because I get to see different things my older brother likes to do and Evan. So it's a fun experience.
It's a fun. Okay, tell us now. I saw outstanding. A presentation that in mathematics. Now, tell us a little bit about what you want to do as far as your major is concerned, as far as a career.
I would like to get in biology. I know it consists of math, science, a combination of both. So in school, I really enjoyed chemistry, biology, and algebra too. Those subjects kind of gave me a feel of just solving different problems in a complex way. So I think biology is what I would like to major.
Yeah. Well, and I heard that you know you have surpassed your big brother, you know, as far as track is concerned. When he went off to college and everything, you continued. You took over. What was the 800 and 100 and the 400?
Yeah, the 400. Yeah, I just kept pushing forward, and the at Wise High School, the track team was pretty good.
They have a good team at Wise High School.
Yeah. Yeah. And the coach, he really pushed me forward to improve my times.
Yeah. But you know, a young man that was in you guys' career very early was Larry Colbert. You remember Larry Colbert?
Yeah.
From Glen Arden Track Club. Now, I have put a plug in for Larry. Larry Colbert is one of the hosts here on the show, and he has done a terrific job. In fact, Larry has pushed Glen Arden Track Club to #1 in the whole state. Everybody knows about Glen Arden Track Club because he really puts the time in, and now he's at Bowie State. So what do you think about the track? Did that sort of help you to decide you want to get involved in your major?
Yeah, shooting track, just again, overall body workouts, to me that really brought my horizon in the healthcare field. Being able to help others get their body right or physically taking pills or just injections. It just kind of opened my eyes up to the healthcare field track there.
Right. So tell us some of the things that you think that you're a recent graduate. What do you think about some of the curriculum that they have in the school? Do you think they should improve some? Do you feel that is things that you miss as far as curriculum is concerned?
I think it was overall pretty good.
Yeah.
But I think they could just have more one-on-one.
More one-on-one.
And maybe more tutoring.
Well, you seeing this class size was too large.
Yeah, it was definitely huge. It's at least 30 kids, 30 to 40.
And that's 30 or 40 is too many.
Right.
Especially 40.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's, you don't have any personal contact. You know, and if you have, you can chime in here, Edwin, too. If you have a problem, you know, sit back. You got 30, 40 people there. You may have forgotten what you want to ask, or either someone asked a question that is incomplete, is subject matter is incomplete as far as you're concerned, because that's not, you know, the route that you want to go as far as the answer is concerned. So you think the class size, now both of you have been through the system. Now Edwin, you have been through the homeschool. You've been through homeschool. So what do you think about homeschool as far as public schools? Now both of you have came through homeschool and public school. Edwin, you want to answer that first?
I think that with homeschool, it's out. Well, I think with homeschool, it's obviously, you know, centered more toward that one person that's being taught. But in the school system, you know, you have to kind of be more self-motivated to learn.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, you gotta be
well, you don't get that personal
Yeah,
attention.
Yeah,
So actually, homeschool was very positive, you know, as far because the things that personal attention, they're like Ellis said, hey, look, you got 40 people in there. You got 30-minute class, you know, by the time they present.
You can get them distracted too easily.
Yeah.
Because it's like a bunch of other things going on besides the teacher trying to really help you learn.
Right. So what do you think some of the things that they should do to improve the system, you know, as far as learning is environment? Because both of you're in the college environment, you're getting ready to go into the college environment.
Right.
What do you think that would improve the educational system as far as Prince George County is concerned?
They could cut the classroom sizes, and they could basically have more tutors or just staff in the classroom to help different students that are having problems, or maybe really aren't picking up the material like fast enough.
Okay, what about you, Ellis? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with what everyone said. Just having more extra activities dealing with school, maybe just different camps or different programs centered around different students.
Well, what do you think about the history that's being taught? You know, we talked about this off camera, but the history that's being taught, where you realize that George Washington did not discover America. You know, the Indians were here, and really that was the thing that really drove me to the African American College, HBUs. Is the fact I grew up in the Philadelphia area, had very little African American history. You know, after you pass, I say, the scientists, you guys know the scientists with the peanut, George Washington Carver.
Yeah.
And now, okay. Now, from Tuskegee. Now, he was the one that they actually stole some of his inventions from. I was amazed that in going down to Tuskegee, and that's somewhere you guys should visit, because you got George Washington Carver, Booker T. Washington, and you know the P-48 planes that were the most successful fighter planes in World War II. At Tuskegee Airmen, you've heard about them. But most of those things were stolen, from the African American. And right now, a good example is still that type of thing still going on. Yeah, you guys remember the young late mathematicians that sent the John Glenn, that you remember Forbidden, that movie, what was it, Forbidden Hides, where these young ladies work for NASA, a group of them.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, a group of them, and that was when John Glenn was first man on the moon, and he was saying that the talent that the African American women, that team with the mathematics, he even talked about how great that was. That was the same thing in World War II. Is that the young men that they couldn't fly the planes, but they were mechanics on the planes and things like that. Then eventually they were given an opportunity to fly the plane, and the P-51, P-41, those were the fighter planes that protected the bombers, and so. Everyone in World War II, they were only fighter squadron that didn't lose a bomber. And, when they go out on the bombing raid, they sent the fighter flyers out there to protect the bombers, from the enemy.
Right.
And the Tuskegee fighter plane squadron was known throughout the world of being #1. The pilots that flew the bombers, they would say, no, I want the Tuskegee fighters to fly in a formation and for protection. So that just gives you an idea of there's so many things that are really you have to fight for simply because you are African American. So how do you feel about the situation? Have you felt here in this time the rafts of not being appreciated along the lines of your talent?
Honestly, no, I really haven't felt it, but I'm still young, so I probably will in the near future.
Later on,
yeah,
well, this prepares you. What happens that has happened. These are the true things, is that as far as this country is concerned, so many negative things come out, and the positive things, they generally not as a negative approach to the positive things of the African American. And you are both the future, and you have to look at these things, realistically, really well. Yeah. So. What do you have to do? You have to make sure that you all set a terrific example in the environment that you're in with your mother and father. But what happens is some young men are not blessed, to have that type of two-parent environment. And
that's true.
And you have seen how that makes a big difference, right?
Yeah, it definitely
Well,
does.
tell us a little bit about it.
I think that when a child doesn't have both parents in the home, it leads to them getting into stuff that they, really shouldn't be getting into. But then it's since they don't have that guidance coming from the house, I mean, right. They basically don't know. So they just do it anyway.
Right. Okay. Tell us what do you think, Alice, about the environment that you're in, the environment that you're going out. When you graduate from high school, you're going out into the real world. Right now, you're protected by your mother and father.
Right.
But the things that you going through now, it'll be totally different when you get in the working world.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because once I get to the working world, it'll be more independent.
Yeah.
I guess now.
And responsibility goes along with it. You know, you got to worry about your food. You got to worry about your shelter. You got to do all of those things. So what happens, I'm getting ready to get into the next subject. I'm getting into generally the African-American male is the one that has suffered. And that's why I'm talking along the lines, because of the fact that Father's Day is coming up. And I'd like to just take time out and really commend all the fathers that are really putting out. You guys don't get the credit. The mothers always get the credit. But Father's Day, you know, Mother's Day, they have flowers every Father's Day, you know. Oh, well, you know, it's Father's Day, you know. They just pass by. But I think the fathers in the world, they really are under a lot of pressure, because when you take on the responsibility of family, and sometimes it doesn't work out like you want it to be, but still the difference is that with the segregation and the problems that you have with the people, period, is the fact that the African American young men, they really have suffered here in the United States, because they try to really build a family, protect the family, and then be a good citizen. And what I like to just take the time out and say, all you fathers out there that, you know, are going through different things, is the fact that fathers are very important, and they are the backbone of the family. It's very difficult here. You got two young men here that they soon will be taking on a responsibility, you know, of families and things like that. And they have to realize how important fathers are, and the fact that the realization of maintaining positive thinking in a society like this, like the things that happen out, and I would say with ISIS and things like that, things that occur, and the fact that things that happen at Bowie State. This is not discouraging to the African American, because he feels that, you know, it's a lot of things that are going on that, you know, as far as imprisonment, and the African American young men, they have to be very careful, because it seems that they not only had a responsibility of being a good citizen, they had a responsibility of protecting their family, and what they like to do is just have an equal opportunity. And these two young men here, they show you the types of things that can be produced when everybody have an equal opportunity to produce it. Is given that, you know, they haven't been given that. They have the press is part of it, a bad image, but what happens is that all they have to do is keep their faith as far as God is concerned, because He is the #1 man, and He's going to make sure that the help that the people need, people period, no particular race, is He will have the last word.
Right.
So what do you guys think about the different problems that we have in our world, you know, like with ISIS and things like that? Do you think something like that will ever be wiped out? Because what happens is they criticize ISIS and they criticize different countries, but what happened is that the world itself, you find the greed, and what people don't realize is that we've put money ahead of everything, you know, but we have to start thinking in terms of people, you know. Now, what is your philosophy? You know, you guys remember when I used to jack you up on the basketball court? You don't remember that, do you?
No, I don't remember that.
And,
I don't recall.
I used to jack up Wilt Chamberlain. You guys laugh at me. Oh, no, you live down the street in Philadelphia there. But anyway, I like to say that it's great to have you guys here. Keep up the good work. And like I was saying, we're going to use this as a graduation celebration,
right.
And Father's Day. Make sure that they going to school. A lot of the youngsters, they don't have money to go to school than others do. So what do we do with the ones that don't have the money?
Well, for the ones that don't have, well, the ones that don't have the money, I will suggest they try to get a scholarship. But if that doesn't work out, I mean, they'll have to just seek out different, corporations or different groups in hopes of maybe they could get some support, like some type of money to come from somewhere so they're not in debt, when they leave from school.
How important is the vote, Ellis?
I think voting is really important because it determines who's going to be in office and the decisions made, big decisions made, like I said, or different laws being passed. So I think that voting, you should vote. My parents and you always encourage me when I get that age to make sure I vote.
Right, and voting is the key. The problems that we have now, you're talking about the off election, you're talking about 25% of the people voted. Ridiculous.
Man.
You know what I mean? And see, that's one thing. If you're going to be in a society, you got to be part of it. And the number one item in this country, some countries, they don't realize you can't even vote. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here they have opportunity, and a lot of people gave their lives for an opportunity to vote. And we have individuals here in this country, they have the opportunity, and they don't vote. Just like here in Prince George County, they had only about 25% of the people voted on the local elections, but the local elections goes right up to the president. You find the Civic Association, you find the county council, the mayors, the senators, and things like that. So we young people should be more involved in the voting system. What do you think, Edwin?
I think that the reason why some people don't vote now is because they really honestly just don't care anymore based on maybe like past events, like different past corruptions that happened. So basically based on different past events, it basically on different past events, it affects people now to the point where they just don't really care who's in office and who's not. They basically just go with the flow.
Well, one thing, don't you think, Ellis, that before you make a decision about anyone, you should do homework, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
you always got to do research.
I think, I think most people don't do enough homework. They go along what their buddy or Aunt Susie or somebody else said. Oh, he's a good guy, or she's another. But those things, so it's important that the young people vote and get into business. This is the name of the game. You got to get into the business world to be successful here in this society. So you guys are doing a terrific job. Your mother and father, I know them. They're doing a terrific job. And what we like to see is that you all be the leaders of the next world. Not this one. But anyway, your last pick for the NBA. Quickly.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Golden State.
Golden State. I don't know, boy. I have to go with the homeboy, Durant. You know who he is. See you next time.